Today I'm at Abbey House Museum in Kirkstall, just outside Leeds. I'm here with Sarah Allen, the Learning and Access Officer for the museum. Sarah, can you tell us what there is to see at the museum?
So our museum is a Victorian social history museum. So downstairs we have recreated Victorian streets, which give you an impression of what it might have been like to live in Leeds in about 1880. So we're full of shops, houses, things that people would have lived with and seen around Leeds in 1880.
Can you tell me what facilities you have for disabled people?
Yes, so we've tried to include a range of facilities that make access to the museum as easy as possible for people with a range of disabilities. So we have a disabled toilet, we have a hearing leap in the shop, we have flat access routes into the museum, we have a lift up to the first floor, and our staff are really wonderful at any requirement you might have, trying to include that as best we can. So for example, we have light ranges in the museum that are meant to emulate a day in a life, so it's 24 minutes with different lighting levels. If people know they're going to find that tricky for a visual impairment, or particularly children who are on the autistic spectrum struggle with that, we're quite happy to turn that off if that's going to be a problem.
One of the issues at Abbey House Museum is because they've reconstructed these Victorian streets, some of the passageways get quite narrow. For example, this one is about 83 centimetres wide, so you need to make sure that your wheelchair is narrow enough to get through them. The ethos at this museum is that if you can reach it, you're allowed to touch it. So it makes it a highly tactile and interactive museum, which is great for the kids. One of the great things about Abbey House Museum from a wheelchair user's perspective is that the exhibits are a really good height for us, so we can see everything.
I've had a great couple of hours at the Abbey House Museum. I've learnt lots about Victorian life and the access is quite good. There are some cobbles in the museum which some people might find a little bit difficult, but it replicates what it would have been like living in Victorian times, which obviously weren't particularly accessible. Also, some of the corridors are a little bit narrow to replicate narrow streets, and also the lift. Again, it's a little bit small and might be problematic for some wheelchair users. But I've had a great time, a really good time, and just surprised at how much I've learned.